Hey YouTube, welcome to another Valkyrie Connect video, and in this video it will be episode 2 of our Valkyrie Connect podcast. In this podcast I have joined with me Twinny, Zombie Rabbit, as well as AUStarwars from the previous podcast that we've done. And in this topic, it's a pretty important topic, especially if you're going to be playing any type of gacha game or just games in general, and how do you evaluate the units that you want, as well as the items, whether it's the base stats, their effect, or their versatility. And on top of that, I want to also go over on everyone's progression nearing the end of the podcast as well, and what they've been up to. So without any further ado, we'll start with Twinny and how do you evaluate your units and items. Then we'll move on to Zombie and then AU, and we'll start a discussion from there as well. So Twinny, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. So from a free-to-play standpoint, I evaluate units that have to be quite all-round, right? Units have to be, one, good in PvP, and they have to be semi-useful in like PvE content, like scenarios, onslaught, or certain connects. This is why I evaluate Starfest units quite highly, because their base stats are quite high, and you always see those units in PvP as well. Units like Erd, you see Erd nearly everywhere, and units like Luca. These two units are quite strong, but if you talking from a starting perspective, there's really like 3 units that come to mind that are really good, and that's probably Niji, Freya, and Thor. I think those 3 are really good because they are, 1, accessible, and 2, if you're starting, they impact the metagame, as in PvP metagame, quite heavily. And if you're starting out, it's quite easy for you to focus on limited units, and using those units will help you excel in both PvP and PvE. Now for PvE items, I mostly look at them first of all. I will look at them what they offer in CC value. For example, items like Valkyrie, which is a free item that you can obtain from the Valkyrie Connect, is really nice because it has high stats and it provides CC. Of course, it does elemental damage, so it's not always optimal against certain opponents. While you have items like Valhalla Staff, which also provide excellent CC, and it's neutral damage. So if you look at these items, you have like premium items. I would consider those premium items because they have high base stats and they have good CC. Then you have like items a little below, which I regard like items that have good CC but lesser stats. And then you have items like good base stats but not that useful CC or no CC at all. So I evaluate these items in these kind of tiers, and the units also in like a little bit like these kind of tiers. For example, you have like niche units like Skadi, which is really good in tanking and soaking, and then you have like Mia, which is also really good in doing brand damage to prohibit healing. But Mia and Skadi are quite hard to obtain. I can see that a lot of people have difficulties obtaining them, and that's why Starfest is called a little bit like a meme in the sense that it's called Saltfest. So I would suggest newer players to aim for something that is much more accessible. Thor is really accessible, has Paralyzer CC, which is probably also really good, and equally as good if you're starting out, because you're facing people that aren't as like high level with in terms of units and counters, so I would advise you to do this. Niji, on the other hand, is also really popular, and I would say it's also really good attack unit. And if you have Luca, you can use Niji as an offensive unit, and that can use that. They can substitute for that role. Aside of that, for Rangers, I would say Momiji Ranko is probably quite easy to obtain, and not that hard to equip, because like for Rangers, like if you have like Rangers, they come with AD and magic attack, like physical damage and magic attack. And personally, from my opinion, I find attack Rangers easier to build than magic attack Rangers. The reason for that is because I find the AD items, right now you have like quite a few AD items in the game. You have a lot of diamond items, but you also have Dwarven Bow from the game itself. And from certain post events, you get the Bakuya swords that you can equip, which is quite nice. And then you have like Phoenix Bow, Leviathan Bow, Dwarven Bow, and you have like their SPs as well. So it's quite easy for me to build those, and they have built-in effects on their skill and item SP items, which make them easy to build and easy to use. And also Ranko is very easy to use in different connects. And this is why I value these units and these items for those reasons.
Okay, so you can say that in terms of units, especially for the beginning players, you're looking for flexibility between connects and PvP. And in terms of items, you categorize them whether they're for CC and PvP or a beneficial effect in the connect, especially their elemental damage as well. Okay. Zombie, do you have anything to add on that, or how do you generally choose your units and items?
Same as Twinny, and for items, I just test out all of it and see which one meshes well with which hero I use. Like, if you're a magic attack unit, I would of course give you magic related items. If you're physical attack, and etc. etc. And for units, that one's kind of tricky. Generally, I use whichever feels like it meshes well with my whole team or whoever I plan on actually building.
Okay, so in terms of that, like having Verdandi with another range to help synergize a bit better, or having units that don't overlap their CC, like Freya and Golveg on the same team, you want to avoid that. Okay, yeah, I understand. I think that's one of the things that I do too when I start looking at a team, as in terms of what are my goals for that team, whether they're backline, frontline, or mid-range attackers. And with the items, I do try my best to get as much CC as possible, and on top of that, not just any CC, right? You're generally shooting for CCs like Curse. They're pretty powerful, or Petrify, anything to keep them from performing any actions. And if AU... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's also Silence and Fear. Fear prevents like the skill gauge from going up, whereas Silence just can interrupt the skill going off or prevent them from going off.
Correct, yeah. And AU, what's your thought on that? Alright, sorry, go ahead, AU. Yeah, you had some difficulties.
Yeah. The only thing I would add is that, for me, I try to fill, like, when units are available in a summon or something like that, I'm trying to fill in for roles I don't currently have. So if there's certain super connects that I don't have the right units for, or there's certain... a lot of the units I'm trying to fill in for are mostly for connects, because I don't have a lot of the optimal units that you could use in each type of connect. So, I didn't have a lot of dark dealers. So, if there was when the Momiji summon came out in this Yamato event, I made sure that I summoned then, because not only could I get units for the event and do better there, but I could also get her so she could help me in multiple ways. So I try to look at when the banners are available and the summons are available, like where I can get this overlap between, like, units that are going to be good in a connect, units that are going to be good in an event, and then units that are going to upgrade me in PvP. But I'm not really, like, in order to upgrade a PvP team, I think, like, you really need, like, some very high-end, very specific units, especially if you're looking to actually, like, upgrade as opposed to, like, what you have now, because it can take so long to build them and to gain them that, I'm just trying to look for spreading my availability across the game in any type of situation. So
okay, and so what you're looking for mainly is whether the unit is able to span across multiple connects instead of just one. I think one that really stands out in my mind would be upgrading a unit like Wolfgang or Liesa, since their neutral damage. Ronko is pretty popular as well. Currently I'm building a light team as well as a water team for Angerboda and Emir, and right now I'm also finding that not only upgrading those units for those specific connects, there are obviously other connects that they can span over too, such as Surtur and Vidalfnir. And currently, in terms of the units, what would you rate as the highest end units that are versatile in terms of PvP as well as connects? It doesn't have to be a Starfast unit. It could even be a 2-star unit. I mean, I see people use Garm as a tank as well, right? And what 20? We'll start with you. What are the let's just say what are the top 5 units that you consider to be the most important in terms of, like, if I'm starting, right? What are the 5 units that you would suggest? It doesn't have to be a tank, melee, 2 mage range evaluation. Just top 5 units that I should just look towards when I see the banner out or whatever.
Top 5 units of personal experience, or just from
Personal
based
experience, just
personal
based off of your
experience?
experience, yeah.
From the units that I own, I think the most important unit I have is probably Erd. Erd is my most important unit. I use her everywhere. I use her Onslaught, I use her in every Connect, and I use her in PvP. The second most important unit I think that I own is probably Ranko. I rate Ranko second. Third is Niji. The reason why I rate Ranko so high is because I really like the synergy. Like, Ranko is really good in PvE, since Ranko SP and X reduces the defense. If you use defense, you have melee units that will do more damage. I really like that. Then for third slot is Niji. The reason why I rate Niji so high is because of her race, and the fact that I was unfortunate since I never got Luca, so I used Niji as a tank for a really long time. And I think until 2 months ago I got Luca 5-star, and now I started using Luca tank, which allows me to use Niji like an off tank, and I've great success with that as well. So in that sense, Niji is really versatile. Then my fifth and last unit would probably be Freya. I think Freya is really important, since Freya has charm and has helped me a lot during the early stages of the game in PvP, because not many people have purity rings, especially in my bracket. And because of that, Freya for a lot of new players is going to be one of the very important units that you should go for.
Okay, and what are your top 5 zombie if you were to choose the most versatile or successful units in your experience?
Erd, because like Twinny said, she is a really good support unit and a healer. There's also Luca, who just ultimately is a good tank that you can use anywhere as long as it doesn't counter humans. You know, even then, once she gets a skill off, she doesn't really die. And Ranko, neutral damage, and her weapon gives armor break, so if you're running physical, she does more damage, she lets you do more damage. Let's go see. Now, 4 and 5. Really tough call. There's Odin, but Odin's the light. Odin's SP provides 10% stat boost, I believe, and you can stack them twice from his X weapon and his SP weapon. And he also does an AoE light damage, which is very useful for your mages. And let's go see who my last unit be. Is it okay if I include limited time unit?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
I want to say Miku.
The Valk or the regular?
Regular Miku.
Okay.
Her skill by itself increases everyone else's skill gauge, which can accelerate how many times you can use your skills. And if she has her costume on, she can make your mages even faster, which lets Odin nuke again fast. And which is extremely helpful.
Alright, so you're looking at Miku in terms of her ability to assist the rest of the team, not just her, right?
Yes, and she also targets the nearest 3, which is pretty good. She drops their, I believe, attack, and does nature damage, which we need more of.
Yeah, I find that a rarity nowadays. It's earth damage.
Earth damage, green damage.
Yeah. AUStarwars, what about you? Where would you rank your top 5 units in your experience? I'm pretty sure Erd is going to be in there as well.
Yeah, so Erd I think is number one just because she's the most versatile. I mean, I use her in almost every Connect, and then she floats in and out of my PvP teams, and especially the 15-man PvP teams, and she's key in Onslaught Towers and things like that. So she's definitely the most versatile for me. I've had Odin for a long time, so he's definitely one of my higher damage units. I have Luca, I have her costume and all that. I mean, but I find myself not using her as much in Connect. So if I actually had to redo it all over again, I would probably focus more on Niji than I would on Luca. Although in PvP, especially Tower, I prefer to use Luca because of the self-heal ability. But if I had a choice, again, mostly due to versatility and Connect, probably focus more on Niji first. In terms of the last two, they kind of float in or out for me. It just depends on the Connect or what I'm doing. So Momiji, Vivandi, really just any of the high DPS type units. I mean, I use Saber on my PvP teams and as an off tank. So I guess like her or Thor are usually my off tank, but they can have weaknesses to some of the CC. So once I get a better purity ring, I'm sure I'll feel differently about Saber. I mean, I use her now, but I think she'll have a second purity ring, or I'm able to change my tank to somebody that's not affected by like Freya's charm effect or something like that. So I would have to put one of the melee DPSs on there, even though I don't always use them. And then I use her a lot in Connects as well, so I guess I'd have to put my Saber up there as well.
Okay, and actually this is a bit off topic. Since the release of Materia as well as the Heimdall change, how have you guys evaluated those units? Where would you place them? Are they valuable? Should they be sought after? Or they're just still, like Heimdall, is he still useless? In terms of the current Yamato Tower, do you avoid him at later floors, or do you not care still? And yeah, we'll start with Twinny and then go around the table again. Go to Zombie and then AU.
I think for Heimdall, for like veteran players that have been playing the game for a long time, Heimdall doesn't really make the cut in comparison with the rest, in my opinion. I don't really, like in Tower itself with the percentage boost, I don't really have any difficulties with Heimdall. But it is an added benefit, so that when you start a game and you're rerolling and you don't really get the Luca or Niji tank, you can take the Heimdall and take the Niji from the first step, the 3-star ticket, and use Niji as off tank, which provides you with a really solid start, and that's really nice about it. And it will also help you in early game PvP, so that's a really good thing, in my opinion. Second, on the Materia effect, the Materia is quite new. I don't think I've seen that many 5-star Materias, and her item hasn't been released yet. She will be released, like her item will be released this month. I assume this month's Starfest, so at the end of this month. So I think we have a much clearer view on Materia at the end of this month. But so far, I'm not that afraid of Materia at the moment, because most of them are not fully built, or they're not 5-star, and they're not really up to ratio. So Materia is not really at the 100% that she could be at the moment. I don't think I see them in Tower. I don't see them in PvP either. So so far, I'm not really certain about Materia, but she does seem good with the items.
Okay, and in terms of, we were talking about her build last podcast. Would you still shoot for Druid's Cloak over, healing items for her?
At the moment, because I know that a lot of people have Mia build up, and of course with the step up, like Starfest, and of course with each iteration of Starfest that comes back, I would assume that there are going to be more and more people with Mias. So Mia is going to be a very good unit to use as a counter to healing teams, and I would, like, if I'm going to build Materia right now, I would reduce the amount of healing on my teams. So I would try to use other abilities. I would probably use her with her X. I would not use her SP. I would probably use a crystal armor. Would not use winged helm, and I would use 2 damage items, like probably a Val staff and a probably. Let's put Valkyrie as a placeholder because it's so easy to get. I'll probably build Materia that way offensively, and then of course the typical bangle setup like triple bangle, and you can put Purity there as well, or you can put Niflung, you can put and like what you really want as your dwarf ring or accessory.
Okay, and Zombie, how do you rate Heimdall and Materia so far in terms of their flexibility as well as practical use?
For Heimdall, I don't mind because I have both Young Ymir and Genesis Prince Ymir, which essentially stops his barriers from going off and goes through his barriers. So for me, Heimdall, it just, once you get to that end game, he's not really there.
So you find that he, even with the buff, he still gets squashed, right?
Yeah, because both Ymirs attack everyone, go through barriers, stop barriers from going off. So he just can't do anything if you reach end game or near end game.
Okay, then what about Materia? Have you seen her often at all, or in tower or anything?
Yes, I've seen her in, I think, one match my Grand Arena team. She was the last survivor, but in the end she still lost. Even with her skills, it's just if you have enough CC to stop her, which is generally Val weapons, or if you're running Vocaloid Luca, who can CC Therians, it just essentially, you just gotta just give her a lot of HP. A lot of HP, a lot of defense, and a lot of magic defense if you want to run her like a front tank.
Okay,
but
and
either way,
oh, go ahead.
Like, building her offensively works, but at the same time, if she doesn't have HP, her skill only mitigates 50% damage. She can still die.
Yeah, for sure. And would you agree on avoiding healing items on her and using HP up items instead?
Yeah, I would recommend doing that. With Mia actually hurting everywhere, it's like probably maybe all the groups 1 to 10 have Mia in their offense with a Purity Ring, tanky with decent offensive abilities, so Luca would die from self-healing. Materia, not so much, but if her skill goes off, it's still nice to have her just either a Druid's Cloak or the Crystal Armor for free HP.
Okay. And AU, how would you, same question to you, how would you evaluate these 2 units?
So, in the later towers, so like the 200 floors or above, I still usually will seek out Heimdall because he's still vulnerable to Freya's ability, and she's in my Tower Connect team. So he's the most vulnerable of all of them, with no chance of a Purity Ring and not a race like Niji that's immune to it. So I still seek him out, but he definitely is more difficult than he used to be. I mean, I'm not just usually winning in one shot anymore. Sometimes I go on to the second one and have to change teams around. And he can be annoying to keep some of their guys alive a little bit longer, but so he's definitely been improved. But I still think if given a choice of any of the actual tanks as opposed to some of the teams that don't have any true tanks at all, I'll still usually choose him over other options. Although I have seen him and Luca teams, him and multiple tank teams. So, but he's just better, but he's not, avoidable or anything like that. And then in terms of Materia, I just pulled her as part of the Star Party step up, so I don't have a lot of experience. I've never actually seen her like in any of my connects or in any of my PvP. I mean, the evaluation of her is really good, and I can't wait to get her a little bit higher to try her out. But I mean, her ability seems really solid with preventing a lot of damage and being able to deal damage at the same time. So, as opposed to some of the pure tanks that are only healing themselves, like Luca, or keeping themselves alive, like Heimdall, the fact that she can do both means she'll probably have a lot more use for me, especially in like connects. And I hope that in the long run, I can use her once I get, some more start up on her to, replace some of my other tanks with her as it gets higher up.
Okay, so I guess we can all agree that Heimdall still isn't on the tank status. He's still beatable very easily, even with the stat buff. And I think that's also mainly due to his gender, as well as his elemental resistance. Because him being a male, he can't equip Purity Ring. And just him being so weak to dark, he just gets smashed by people who use Hell, Ymir, or even physical dark damaging units like Brunhild or anyone like that. And back to the subject of unit and item evaluation, would you, if there was the changes to Heimdall where they increased, let's just say they increase his elemental resistance to where he's majority is 1.5 to 2.0 elemental resistance, dark being around 2.0, and he had the same ability, of course we're not going to change his gender or his race, do you think he'll be more of a tank, and would you even consider using him? And we'll start with Twinny and go to Zombie, just yes or no, or just a small explanation why.
As a starting player or as a veteran?
Let's just say starting to intermediate.
Because as a starting, I find units are the easiest if you have if SP and X are available. If SP and X are available and SP and X are good items for the specific unit, then I find the unit easier to build and also more accessible for newer players, newer to intermediate players. That's why Ranko is on the list of my one of the best units because it's so accessible. For Heimdall is a 2-star base unit. Doesn't have those items. You do have that costume, the meme costume. So that in a sense, in order to make Heimdall quite good, you need quite premium diamond items, in my opinion, if you really want to use him. And that's why, yes, even with that buff, I think the buff would be enough actually. The 2.5, if the resistance, dark resistance were to be 2.5, then yes, you will be able to see more of him, and it will be way more appealing for new players because new players have access to a Hell and gold in the 3-star ticket. So I think yes, he will be way more sought for, and Luca will drop a little bit in priority for rerolling, and then people can reroll on Starfest for like Bird or for another damage dealers. And later on you go in the game, then you will see in veterans territory, you will still see Ymir. So then Heimdall will drop off. So the later you go in the game, the less valuable Heimdall will become. But he will be really good at the start of the game with that change.
Okay, Zombie, how would you rate him? Yes or no, and like a small explanation as to why you got that answer.
If Heimdall was given 3-star stats,
yeah,
then he would be a little better in surviving and getting off the skill. But the problem is, this 3-star ticket, you still have access to Freya or Niji. Like, people get Heimdall, Freya can still stop him right then. Hell can do the same thing, by just voiding him if his skill goes.
Okay, so in terms of just him being susceptible to all of those CCs, you wouldn't really say he's valuable, even to the intermediate players as well? Okay. No, go ahead.
I do have to add though, if I can, that with those changes, he will be really good in connects. So.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, since the Connect bosses are,
So he would be useful just for connects then. Even if he's bad for PvP, then I would still build him for connects.
Marmalade Heimdall. But AU, how would you rate him? Would you consider him at all, or would you recommend him to other players from the beginning to intermediate level?
I mean, it comes down to the re-rolling, I think. that Zombie might have mentioned earlier, like, it's a viable unit to roll for, not with, if you're re-rolling and you, in the beginning as a player, at the right times during a star party, for example, and you're really trying to get Earth, or something like that, like, if he's one of your 2 stars, you're not going to be upset about it. The key for me is just that 5-star ticket, you can get a Niji right away. So Heimdall would basically be part of my 15-man PvP team, but as soon as I had other options at tanking, like even if I used an tank as a tank in one of those teams or something like that was built correctly, I don't think I could just have him out there on an island as the tank by himself. Like you said, most of us have said it, it's the CC that he's susceptible to, and for me it's also that he can't wear the what's it called, the gem that gives you a lot of hit points that like humans can wear. I'm trying to remember what it's called. The
Hearthstone?
Yeah, the one you get from the Connect.
Yeah.
The Connect one,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I use that on a lot of my tanks, and especially to be anti-petrified because of all the Valhalla equipment that's out there, and the more towers that we have, the more Valhalla equipment you're seeing all the time because their stats are so good. So the fact that he can't wear that, in addition to being a male, in addition to being an Acer, it just hurts him a lot having these different race
disadvantages.
Race class sex disadvantages that he has. So
Heimdall's the redhead stepchild of Valkyrie Connect.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, honestly, I would agree, but for a beginning player, he's not a bad unit to have, especially when you're trying to push through the PvE portion of Valkyrie Connect. But I would agree that in PvP, he tends to fall on the lower end, but I'm pretty sure you can bring Heimdall and make it to the at least top 300 somewhere in your group, especially for newer players starting now. They're in the lower groups, and it makes it a bit easier for them to push. But
yeah, just with any gacha game, you have to be careful what kind of resources you put into a character, because
for sure, yeah.
As soon as you get another one that's better, the advantage for him is that you'll probably get him to be 5 stars faster than any other tank, other than getting the Niji tickets. Just because he'll come up more often, even if you're a free-to-play player and you're free diamonds more often. So
that's true. And on to the next topic. What is everyone's current goals in Valkyrie Connect, and where are you at currently in achieving those goals? So we'll start with Twinny and move around the table.
My current goal is I'm opening a team for Angabo Super Connect. At the moment, my Thread is nearly purple 4 noded. Senna is 5-star, 0 noded. My Arthur is 3-star gray. My Nautica is purple 4 noded, 5-star, and Erd is purple. I think nearly fully noded. I think I'm missing only 1 Pride Orb on fully noded, and Anko is also nearly fully noded. I think only 2 orbs are missing. I listed these units because at the very start I didn't have Arte, so I wanted to use Nautica, Erd, Senna, Thread, and Ranko. But now I pulled Arte recently, so I'm probably going to swap Arte with Nautica.
Okay. And Zombie, where are you at currently with your goals?
Same as Twinny. Build a team for Angrboda. Right now, I built my Suitor to be 5-star. He is currently 3 dots into purple, so he should be fine as a tank. I have Thread built. All my team is built. It's just I need the Connect ring, the 7-star rings, to actually
For
let
Eclipse?
them survive. Yeah, not Eclipse. Eclipse, we have Thread and Art for that.
Okay.
It's the fire damage AoE that we have to deal with. That comes from Marm 7 drops the one for Jotun, which Suitor needs, and Aegir 7 drops the ones for human Acers, which is needed for my Erd and Dress Saber. And Dress Saber.
Is your Dress Saber currently P5? or fully orb? Or
Yeah,
where's she at?
all my units are P5 except for Art. Art is P4 and just purple 0.
Okay.
Because, yeah, just 4-star and just purple 0. She has both her items, so she'll live either way.
Alright, AU, where you at currently, and what are your current goals?
I'm basically just trying to build some of my units I'm trying to improve my PvP team, so I finished my Momiji. I'm trying to build like a back to front team as opposed to with the new PvP changes. So I'm working on my Momiji's finished. I'm working on my Verdandi. I have her at 5-star but not orbed. And then I'm trying to replace my Saber with Thrud to try that out. Because with the new costume, I just think that I can focus down some of those middle mages as well. So hopefully by the time that her ability would go off, whatever range maybe in the back might already be dead with some of the range combination. And then she has so much use now because she's good in every single fighter connect that she's really if I had to pick one unit that I'm really focusing on, it's Thrud, because she has, as other people mentioned, she's really good in Anger Boda, but she also has full use in other fighter connects and things like that. So she's probably the unit I'm working on the most. And then the only other thing I'm trying to decide is if I want to spend some diamonds to try to pull the new mage. That's really the decision I'm making tonight. So
Do it.
Oh, you mean the new elf mage?
yeah, is he that good? I don't have that staff.
Oh,
He's pretty
he's good.
strong. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him. And isn't there an event for him right now too? Just like the last one? Yeah. Man, I'm so jelly. My friends all pulled him.
Really?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Yeah, they all pulled him. I'm just like, dang, you rich people.
Oh, but they spend money, like proper money for him, or it's just like first pull.
Hey, I have 18,000 diamonds right now. I'm considering pulling one more time, but like considering my luck, I'm not sure if I can get him or not.
I'm still recovering, man. I don't have any diamonds.
Do you know that he will be in the semi-exclusive banner at Anniversary? At Anniversary, it's going
He
to
will
be.
be, but he won't be 5-star. He'll
That's
be
true,
like
yes,
standard
that's
3-star.
true.
Yeah,
Like,
that-
now is the only time to pull for Met 5.
Yeah,
That's
that's the benefit of doing it now, but I'm not sure if I will actually do it.
Because
Oh, there's
if you do the Anniversary, you're gonna get. I think you get Anniversary tokens, and you might as well pull some other semi-exclusive, like I don't know, what's his name? That guy that's really useful for Angabo.
Vidar?
Yeah, him or somebody else, right?
Yes and no, he's not. What Megas told me is do not build Vidar. Either Senna or Thrud. Because he's single target. You need an AoE target to kill the crystals fast enough, so... Yeah. That's what he's told me.
Well, I've come to the conclusion I'm not getting Erd, so I fully orbed out my boulder.
We're doing Ymir next time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man.
Oh, you're gonna have to ask Fi, because Fi did Ymir with Baldur, and you'll have to ask her how she cared for Ymir.
I mean, I put Lotus Stabs again, so I have those, and I mean, it's just so sad. I told myself I don't get Erd by this star party, I'll orb out Baldur, and I did. Which makes me sad because I'm probably gonna pull Erd next star party.
Should have gotten my pulls.
Oh,
I owned 5 out of the 9 office units, and on my third roll, the guarantee one, I got Erd dupe. Of course, my Erd is already 5-star, so it's like 10 wasted souls.
that makes me sad, man. Everyone who
Okay.
started the game, I got my friends to play the game as well. Every single one of them got Erd, and I'm sitting here Erdless.
Okay. Just for a special event, I will do one pull on the Starfest right now, and then cry later.
Screenshot it and send it to Hackio.
Yeah, post it for
Then
the
you
world
can
to
actually
see.
Show it.
Can I ask you a question while you're pulling?
Just because to end it, we have 6 hours left on it. If I don't get them, or any Star Party unit, I am just going to be sad I lost 3k diamonds that I could use to orb someone else.
Well, you never know, right? I guess that's the beauty of this game. If you don't try, then you guarantee yourself not getting it. If you
See
do
it as an
try, you can
investment.
cry. Yeah.
You
Okay.
get 5-star, you don't have to spend stam to make it 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are two options. I can do 10 300 or 1 10.
He only comes in the 10. He only comes in the 10. So you have to do the 10.
Oh yeah, when it comes into
Yeah.
10.
You should have let him do the 300.
Sorry, I couldn't let you just waste.
Oh man, the saving grace of AU.
Then you have
And
to
here
make
it
10
goes.
screenshots as well.
I got it.
What do you guys think of the Star Party?
Oh, sweet! I finally got Mia.
Oh, nice.
I finally got Mia.
And
So
what
you
was
got
that?
something good.
What was that AU?
I got
That Star Party equipment came out. I didn't roll for it or anything. I don't know if that's a standard. If those are like the best items in the game. Like
Oh,
You're talking about with the Saint
gear
Sickle?
party.
That one?
no, there was like a Star Party for gear that you were guaranteed.
Oh, I mean
to get.
Gear Party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gear party.
Oh no. Only some diamonds were good. They were extremely race restricted, like Beast and Elves only. No one else could use it. It all depends. I would wait for the anniversary gear to come out.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah, I agree with that. Most of my diamonds is
Oh.
being saved towards anniversary right now.
You can even
I'm
get the
happy.
anniversary gear with tokens as well. So if you really are lucky, you can just buy them with tokens.
Oh, I'm happy at least now. Finally got Mia.
All right, well
Now I can kill Erd.
we'll wrap it up right now, and I just want to say thank you for coming on, guys, and doing this with me as well. And is there anything else you wanna add before we close it, or you guys are all good?
No, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, if you like this video, please like the video. If you like this type of content, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the next podcast. Take care.
Thanks.
Well, well finished.